Did you say Pepsi PEEPS?
Yeah.
Pepsi
Yeah.
PEEPS?
Yeah.
Get some fucking respect for yourself, Pepsi. Pepsi PEEPS? Come on. You got to admit, you are clutching at straws here if you think that the thing your soda is missing is the infusion of marshmallow peeps. I mean, come on. These seems like the sad acts of a desperate company.
Yo, daddy, it's your boy, Uncle Matty at the Working Perspectives podcast. We got a great show today. We're asking AI a tough question. They give us some tough answers. You never know what you're going to get, but I really think I bodied old Benoit in this debate. Can't wait to hear what you think. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and let us know. And as always, we love you. Thanks. See you. Pepsi guy, Pepsi daddy is what they call me, the Pepsi daddy. Why are you laughing, Bern? It's not funny.
Just go ahead. Go on. Keep going.
There's nothing wrong with being a Pepsi daddy. That's me. I'm Pepsi daddy. And this daddy lets Pepsi sneak in. If Coke still had cocaine in it, your boy would be the #1 fan right now. Tell you that right now, daddy. Let me ask you, Stunod, little freaking Stunod. All right?
Okay.
Here we go. All right, you chooch bag. Here we go.
Go, Steve.
All right. Flat soda in general should be illegal.
Awful.
If the carbonation escapes out of this thing and I gotta drink flat soda, guess what? You're done. But that's the bite. And you're gonna learn to love the bite.
That's the best part.
Good advertising doesn't win you the battle for taste. Okay?
That's true.
Thing.
That's true.
That is true. That's true. My nuts are now on your chin. I feel like Pepsi is more for the people, for the culture, I would say. And Coke is for you white elitist liberal cucks. What do you think, Bern? If you're someone that cracks a soda and then an hour later goes back for a dip, you need to be committed because you're crazy. You're crazy out of your mind. All right, here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Working Perspectives podcast presents Ask AI. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied by the one and only Bern Pod Casey. On this show, we're going to be asking AI the hard-hitting questions and seeing if AI truly has all the answers. There's no question too crazy, no inquiry too outrageous, and no query too quick. AI might have all the answers, but we're here to prove that you can't have great answers without great questions. If you want to send us some questions, please feel free. You can either leave a comment on this episode, which one person has done. Thank you, Miss Metal.
Triple dog dare.
Yeah, put your comment where your mouth is. Leave it on the episode. Give us something to debate. Miss Metal gave us a great debate, which we're going to debate next week. Shout out, Miss Metal. Love you. But yeah. And also, you can follow our stuff on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. And then also check out our shows. We got a Tuesday show, airs at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. We got a Friday show, airs at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Both shows, top notch, daddy. But for this show, we're asking AI. And guess what the question is? Bern, you ready?
I'm ready, baby.
The question is, hey AI, what's better, Coke or Pepsi? You decide. Enjoy the show. Is it Coke or Pepsi, daddy? Nuts on the chin, daddy. Yo, oh, 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 wee, oh. Ho, ho. Benoit Pahoud, Benoit Pechhoud, Benoit Pechhoud. We got a big one today. Are you excited? Are you ready? Are you happy? Are you looking forward to it?
I'm very excited today. I predict a massacre. Sorry. I predict a massacre here,
Wow.
though, today.
Wow. Real nice. Real nice,
Yeah.
Vern.
I'm just trying to
Any
let you
thought?
know what it's going to be like so you can mentally prepare yourself physically, spiritually, talk to your pastor, talk to your wife, talk to your God, because I don't know what's going to be left when I get done with you today.
Well, I mean, let's start then. So let's get it all out there for everybody. You're a Cokeman. You're a Coke man. A Cokeman. You're a Cokeman.
I'm a
Right?
Cokeman, 100%.
You're a Cokeman. You're a Cokeman. All Coke products. You're a Cokeman. Right?
Across the board.
Right. I'm a Pepsi guy. Pepsi guy. Pepsi daddy is what they call me. The Pepsi daddy. Why are you laughing, Bern? It's not funny.
Just go ahead. Go on. Keep going.
There's nothing wrong with being a Pepsi daddy. That's me. I'm Pepsi daddy. And this daddy lets Pepsi smack it. But Bern, we're gonna discuss on this show, why Pepsi is the far superior product to Coke. And that's what we're gonna do. Can I ask you a question, Bern? I feel like a couple years ago, the advertising agencies, they got like territorial with some beverages, right? In a
Sure.
way where I felt like, like people, I'm for a while at least. I remember they did like a gimmick on SNL about it. They're like, is Sprite the black people's soda? You know, like is Sprite, like that's like their thing. You know what I mean? So I don't know where you fall in, right? I feel like Pepsi is more for the people, for the culture, I would say, and Coke is for you white elitist liberal cucks. What do you think, Bern?
I don't know. Remember that powerful Pepsi ad during the Super Bowl a few years ago where like Kylie Jenner was handing a cop Pepsi to
Oh
stop a
shit!
riot? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Damn,
It's
maybe I
kind
shouldn't have started with advertising.
you maybe
Oh.
you maybe started off on the wrong foot there, Maddie. One of the
Yikes!
Jenners unifying the world with a Pepsi, and that ad was pretty reviled. People thought
Yeah.
that was pretty
Oh,
stupid.
yeah. Big time. Oh
Pulled
yeah.
that right
Big
off the
time.
air. I remember a lot of different Pepsi campaigns. You know what I mean? Like, there's been a lot of
Yeah.
Pepsi advertising over the years because there has to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because Coke just shows up. Everybody knows. Maddie, let me ask
It's
you a question. Let me ask you a question.
okay. Talk to me, Daddy.
We spend a lot of time working in restaurants, right?
Oh my God. Like, dude, like we spent a lot of time together in restaurants.
It's a common question people have at restaurants a lot of time that goes, yeah, can I just have a Coke?
And
And
then
then
you ask,
depending
is
on where you
Pepsi
work,
okay?
and they go, just give me an iced tea. I have
Yeah.
interacted with that scenario 1,000 times. I
Yeah.
don't ever remember somebody going, "Can I have a Pepsi?" and saying, "Actually, we have Coke," and then going, "I'll just have a water." True or false?
I'll tell you this. There is an uphill battle with the Pepsi versus Coke, right? We're the underdogs, Pepsi, and it's because the vernacular is when you speak of a soda, it's give me a Coke,
A
right?
cola.
Not even cola, right? You don't even want a large farva, right? You want a liter cola, right? But when you do the cola, right? There's not even cola anymore, right? That's like people forget. It's Pepsi Cola also, right? So they're both a different type of cola, which is a flavor of soda, right? It's Coca Cola and Pepsi Cola, right? People forget. I don't know what the hell's going on, but literally it's a Coke. Everyone just asks for a Coke, right? And when they say Coke, they just mean a cola. Doesn't like they do want, I mean, if they want a Coke, they'll whatever. But a lot of the times the vernacular is a tough thing. Like you don't get a whiskey Sprite or a whiskey Pepsi. You know what I mean? You get a whiskey Coke, right?
Nope.
Jack and Coke, right? Bourbon and Coke,
Rum, rum and
like
Pepsi. No,
no.
not
No,
on.
you don't get a vodka and Pepsi, but you do get like, yeah, rum and cokes. Yeah, that's tough. The vernacular is an uphill battle for sure. But
Well,
I think
it's
what?
because it's a superior product that's become synonymous with the word cola itself. So I mean, like, there's something to be said about how wide-reaching and massively approved of Coke is that it just became what most people refer to as their generic like term for cola. But go
Let
ahead.
me ask you. Let
I
me ask you
appreciate
something, Bern.
I
Let me
appreciate
ask
that
you
point you
something.
just made
No,
for
no,
me.
no.
I didn't even have to do it.
Let,
I had that.
let
You
me ask.
crossed
No,
that
let
off.
me
I had
ask
that
you, you
written
fucking
down.
stew-nod little two-dick freaking stew-nod. All right. Here we
Okay.
go. All right, you fucking chooch bag.
Hit
Here we
me.
go.
Knuckle
All
steam.
right. Okay. There's two bands I'm thinking of. One of them is the Backstreet Boys, and one of them is the Killers. Right? Which
Okay.
one would you say is the more popular band?
I mean, at the moment,
I mean, all time.
that's a tough example. I mean, what you want me to say is the Backstreet Boys here, right?
Correct. They
That's
might
what
be
you
the
want
most
me to say.
popular. They might have sold the most songs or whatever. But are they better than the Killers?
They're not.
No.
They're not.
No, they're not. So popularity and, sales, they don't mean a whole lot. They don't mean a whole lot. Good advertising doesn't win you the battle for taste. Okay? That's
That's
the
true.
thing.
That's
That
true.
is true.
That's
That's
true.
true. My nuts are now on your chin. My nuts are now on your chin.
Well, I'll need
Do
a.
you have something you'd like to say? Or can you even talk with my nuts on your chin?
No, your nuts. Your nuts are too big and too hairy and on my chin. You know what they could use, quite
Well,
frankly?
yeah. Tell me what they could use, Bern, please.
They could use a little manscaping, quite
Oh my
frankly.
God, my hairy nuts.
Your hairy nuts could use a little bit of a trim down.
Oh,
And
how could I do that?
I think exploring some of the diverse, versatile, and affordable products from Manscaped could really turn this situation around.
Well, Bern, can I ask you? I mean, my nuts, super hairy. I got hairy, hefty, meaty
Wiry
clappers,
almost.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
Bushy.
stuff. Brillo pad down there,
Yeah.
right?
Uncomfortable.
Manscaped can handle that. But what about these big shoulders, right? I mean, I know it's the winter time, but this sweater sometimes is a little too much, Daddy.
Yeah, I mean, look
What
at
do
the
you
guy.
suggest?
He can't even wear a shirt. It's freezing cold outside. He can't even wear a shirt. He's that
Freezing cold.
well insulated.
Totally.
I think we might want to continue exploring the Manscaped catalog to find a product that can relieve you of those slightly furry shoulders you have.
Is it an affordable product that's available in a lot of different places and
So
has plenty of deals?
I would imagine it's a product you could find anywhere. And as a first-time user, I'm sure there are excellent values and deals that will be
Yeah,
available to
promo
you.
codes. Hopefully, eventually, one day it's promo code WorkingPod. But that's to be determined. But either way, let's keep it moving. Great job, Bern. Dynamite dropping with the ad there. But let's talk about this, okay? Can we talk
Okay.
about this? Pepsi, they say, hits that perfect balance of sweetness. It's refreshingly sweet without being overpowering, making it even more enjoyable to guzzle down on a hot day or with a meal. I feel like pairing with pizza, Pepsi and pizza is the better pairing. Your thoughts?
I mean, what's on your pizza? What you tell me? Pineapple and anchovy? Like maybe.
I do a Hawaiian from time to time. Sure.
Yeah. That sounds
My
about right.
daughter even eats a Hawaiian pizza. Is that good parenting or what?
Yeah, I mean, if she wants to live with a silver spoon in her mouth her whole life, sure, we're all having Hawaiian pizzas out there.
Well, she does the Hawaiian pizza with a side of caviar, obviously.
Yeah, obviously,
Yeah.
and washing it down with a crisp Pepsi Cola. Listen, uh, Coke's the OG, and I understand that that's not necessarily a great argument, right? I'm not just going to sit here and say, "Hey, Coke was here first, and that makes it better," right? That's ridiculous. We all
Right.
live in this world. There's room for innovation. There's room for
Sure.
change.
Sure.
For example, like I wish I had the opportunity to try original Coke, with all
Right.
the cocaine that was in it.
Oh, Daddy.
Traditionally, how they made that delicious tonic.
I'll tell you this. Or if Coca-Cola had cocaine in it, your boy would be the #1 fan, Daddy.
Wicked pissa.
Wicked pissa. Mediocre. It wouldn't be mediocre Coke then. It wouldn't be mediocre. It'd be Coke. I got a Coke. I got a hoagie. A Coke and a hoagie. And I go down to the birds and see something and it wouldn't be mediocre because it'd have the cocaine. Right? Mediocre.
Winning brands recognize winning brands, right? Game recognize game. Right?
Great saying.
You go
Isn't
to
that Kobe
McDonald's.
Bryant?
You go to McDonald's. What are they pouring there, Maddie? What are they pouring at McDonald's? The
Okay,
largest,
let's talk
most
about it. Let's
popular
talk about
fast
it
food
though.
chain in the world.
Let's talk about it. Can we talk about this? Because
They're
we
not
brought it up
pouring
before.
Pepsi, bro. They're not pouring
They're not.
Pepsi.
So I'll tell you, both sodas, when you drink them down, a fresh open, right? They got the bite. The bite is the gimmick, daddy. Right? You love the bite on
Couldn't
both.
agree more.
Love the bite on both. The bite is it. That's the whole thing. I remember the first time my daughter had it, she's like, "This is spicy." I was like, "That's the bite, and you're gonna learn to love the bite."
That's the best part.
The
For
bite is the
me,
best. First sip.
Opening a can, that first sip, it doesn't get better than that.
Oh, you're chugging a good old gulp with that first bite. Oh, daddy. That's some good times. And you can have that with either one. Agreed?
I agree. I will say, and this is one area where I think a lot of people will debate about. I think Coke's bite is a little sharper, sometimes a little much for some people. Some people don't want all that bite, and I can see that. I prefer a strong, but really for me, I want a soda can that's only 3 ounces, right? I just want to crack it, and I want my whole experience to be that first gulp, and then I'm kind of good with it.
Yeah, you want the bite. You're good with the bite, and then see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, after that, it really declines for me.
Oh, I'll tell you, flat soda in general should be illegal.
Awful.
I yell at my wife. I was like, you gotta screw the cap on tight. All right. If the carbonation escapes out of this thing and I gotta drink flat soda, guess what? You're fucking done. We're divorced.
It's
not
pointless.
doing it.
Listen, as soon as you crack that lid for the first time, you're racing the clock. You got to do everything you possibly can to restore the integrity of that. And that means close that cap tight. And if it's too tight for you to open, give me a shout. I'll come in and open it for you. But let's make sure.
I got these right here. I got these right here. I'll pop that son of a bitch right open.
Look at those broad furry shoulders right there. That's what they were made for.
Amen.
We agree.
I will say, Fern, agreed. Also, whoever keeps an open can of soda that isn't finished around for later, you're a fucking psycho.
Insane.
All right. If you crack a can of soda, no matter the flavor, no matter the brand, no matter the flavor, you crack that soda, right? And guess what? If you don't chug that thing in 5 minutes, you get in a flat little spit at the end. But if you're someone that cracks a soda and then an hour later goes back for a dip, you need to be committed because you're crazy. You're crazy out of your mind.
They're two different things. I mean, everything about it has changed. You ever see someone drink like a sip out of a soda can and put it back in the fridge? And you're like, that's going to be so much worse when you come back for it. It's going to be
it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Throw it away. Throw it away.
You don't want it.
You can't drink that. No one can drink that. It's impossible to drink. It's literally the worst thing in the world.
Trash.
Absolute trash. Garbage. Trash.
Anyway, I was just talking about stuff like, the most popular brands, they link up with each other, right? There's a reason they're pouring Coke at McDonald's, right? It's because everybody all over the world loves
about the Coke at McDonald's, right? The Coke at McDonald's, the way it's gimmicked up, they do the keg of Coke syrup, right? Like that's their gimmick. They do the keg of Coke syrup. It's extra carbonated, and because it's in the keg, they're able to keep it carbonated and retains whatever, right? The fact that they have to do that, I'm just saying.
The fact that they get to do that, because there's a standard for Coke, Matt. There's a standard. When people pour a Coke in that fountain soda, they expect top shelf excellence. When people settle for Pepsi, they're like, all right, I guess they don't have Coke. And it doesn't matter as much because they're already disappointed. They already know they're getting an inferior product. It's not as important.
Wow.
That's my argument.
Wow. Okay.
Lower standards.
What's wrong? What about alternating flavors, right?
Okay.
What about alternating flavors? So Coke has cherry Coke, but I'll tell you, a wild cherry Pepsi.
I got to tip my cap to you on that one. The wild cherry Pepsi kept me alive in high school. That's a good beverage. It's a good spinoff. I think I like the wild cherry Pepsi more than I like the cherry Coke. They're close though. They're close.
Yeah. And it's not like it's too far. What about, I don't know. There's been, they've done, like, wild cherry's good. Do you think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it's wild cherry Pepsi?
The cherries wild and not
Yeah,
domestic. Yeah,
yeah,
not captive cherries, but wild cherries.
yeah,
It might be. It might be. There's got a little extra zing to it. So yeah,
yeah.
I wouldn't rule that out.
So
Um,
you want to hear some
I think they're
little
both
gimmicks?
doing. I think they're both doing vanilla now, right? I know Coke has
Yeah,
vanilla.
yeah.
I
They've
think
done
Pepsi has a
vanilla. They've
vanilla.
done, dude. Now there's the fountain where you can go like and pick a Pepsi, and they have like the different. You know what I mean?
Sure, sure, sure.
Like it's a souped up fountain. So listen to this, Burn. 1898, PepsiCo's signature cola product. It's been released in its current form. 1898, PepsiCo was founded, but Pepsi's current cola product was released in 1961, right?
Okay.
And then 1982, they did caffeine free. It was called Pepsi Free, right? And then 1988, Wild Cherry jumped in the game, all right? And
Wow,
then
earlier than I would have thought.
earlier, yeah, I thought it was the mid to late 90s. Then, dude, they did Pepsi AM in 1989, encouraging drinking Pepsi with your breakfast. It had 25% extra caffeine and was marketed as a morning drink. So that's pretty fun. Then they did Pepsi Raging Raspberry, Pepsi Strawberry Burst, Pepsi Tropical Chill. Then everyone's favorite, Crystal Pepsi in 1992. I'm sure you
I
remember
remember
Crystal
that.
Pepsi. Dude, that was a hit because they're like, wait, what? Pepsi's not brown? It's clear? Ugh.
Right now, they had the
Right.
Van Halen song played in the commercial, and I'll never
Yeah.
forget that because Saturday Night Live did a sketch called "Crystal Gravy," which was pretty exceptional with the same Van
Great
Halen song
stuff. I
playing.
remember
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
Crystal Gravy. It was great. And then yeah, it only lasted till it started in 1992, lasted till 1993. And then Cristal is a clear citrus cola hybrid cola that was sold for a short time in 1994. I don't know if you remember that. Do you remember Pepsi Kona?
Yeah, was that like a coffee? Is that a
Yeah.
coffee flavor?
So get a load of this. Pepsi, it was Pepsi with coffee flavoring, and it was test marketed in Philadelphia.
Really?
Yeah. Then they did Pepsi Candy, which I don't really remember.
No, I don't
That was like
recall.
a fruity sweet flavoring. It was sold in Canada, so but
That sounds
Pepsi
about right.
Candy. Yeah. And then they did Pepsi Twist. So it was Pepsi with lemon. And it was featured in 2000 and it stopped in 2006. Yeah. And then do you remember Pepsi Blue?
I do remember Pepsi Blue
Yeah.
actually. I didn't like the look of it. I just don't want to drink blue thing. I already know that I'm putting junk in my body. You turn it blue, I'm like, all right, guys, I get it. I'm poisoning
Oof.
myself.
Dude, then they got smart. They're like, look, we don't need to do all this gimmick. We need to give it taste, right? So they did Pepsi Vanilla, Pepsi Lime, Pepsi Holiday Spice, which was cinnamon, Pepsi Summer Mix, Pepsi Natural, Pepsi Cola Soda Shop. I don't know what this is. A version of Pepsi Cola that is sweetened with sugar instead of high fructose corn syrup. Whoa. And lactate or lacting citric acid. It was produced as Pepsi Throwback in May of 2009. So then they did Pepsi Cherry Vanilla, Pepsi X, which was Pepsi with dragon fruit. Yuck. It coincided with the show The X Factor. And then Pepsi Cola made with real sugar and vanilla, Pepsi Cola real sugar and cherry. Dude, when they did Pepsi Cola with the real sugar, that was a big bump for Pepsi, you know?
Listen, I don't understand why they don't keep producing those because there's a pizza
Right.
place by me that still sells glass bottles of Mexican Coke,
Oh,
and
and
it
like
is
hotcakes.
delightful, absolutely
Hotcakes.
delightful. Real
Right?
sugar,
Yeah.
glass bottle, 12 ounces, perfect. It's the perfect
Yeah.
soda mix.
Oh, it's dude, it's yeah. I wish Pepsi did a glass bottle. I don't think they do. And then you got Pepsi Fire, which came out in 2017, Pepsi Salted Caramel, Pepsi Berry, Pepsi Mango, Pepsi Pineapple, Pepsi Apple Pie, Pepsi Hot Chocolate, Pepsi Peeps, Pepsi Cola Cream Soda, Pepsi Black Cherry, Nitro Pepsi, which is nitrogen infused version of Pepsi, released in 2022. What the fuck is Nitro Pepsi? Then they did Pepsi Maple Syrup. It was released as limited edition with IHOP in March of 22. Oh, dude, that's wild. Pepsi S'mores, Pepsi Pepsi Peach, Pepsi Wild Cherries and Cream, and then Pepsi Floats. Is the upcoming in 2025. They have Pepsi Wild Cherries and Cream. They'll offer in a regular and a zero sugar version, and they'll have Pepsi Floats, which that's not a bad idea. Pepsi ice cream float flavoring. So, Burn, we just went over a massive variety of the different
Yeah.
flavors of Pepsi. Do you want to do the same for old Coca-Cola?
No,
Okay.
because it's not necessary. Because Coke doesn't really sell itself out to fucking peeps. Did you say Pepsi Peeps?
Yeah,
Pepsi
yeah,
Peeps? Get
yeah.
some fucking respect for yourself, Pepsi. Pepsi Peeps? That's Maddie. Come on. You got to admit, you are clutching at straws here if you think that the thing your soda is missing is the infusion of marshmallow peeps. I mean, come on. These seems like the
Uh,
sad acts of a desperate company.
I'm not gonna lie. So Pepsi with marshmallow favorite flavoring. It was released in limited edition sweepstakes in collaboration with Peeps, marshmallow treats in 2021 Easter season, and in February 2023 it was released in stores for a limited time. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I hate Peeps. I hate them. I
Most
hate
normal
the
people do.
candy. I hate. I despise Peeps. I despise them. Peeps and circus peanuts can go kill themselves.
Terrible. Terrible.
The worst. My mom loves them. I don't know what's
Oh
wrong with her.
wait.
She's a
Oh wait,
psycho.
hold on. This just in coming out in 2026. Pepsi Circus Peanut.
You son of a
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah. It should be out any day now. Um, Maddie,
You
listen.
son of a bitch. You
Coke,
had to peeps me, huh?
Diet Coke,
You had to focus on the peeps, huh? You son of a
Cherry
bitch.
Coke,
Fine.
Vanilla
Fine.
Coke, and like that's kind of it, right? I mean, we don't need Pepsi maple syrup. Get the fuck out of here.
It was, I mean, could you imagine going to IHOP, getting a stack of flapjacks with a
And
side of
being like, I
Pepsi
don't have
maple syrup?
enough maple syrup involved in my day. I have four different kinds of maple syrup on the table right now. Can I get some in my Pepsi as well?
No, the flavor was Pepsi with maple syrup. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds great. I mean, if it's Pepsi, it's going to be delicious, right?
Just drink the maple syrup at that point, man. What are we doing here?
Have you ever done that? Do you remember Super Troopers?
Yeah,
I've done that. I've chugged maple syrup before. Not a whole
never.
bottle. Not a whole bottle, but I've done a couple good glugs.
I never
Like,
have. I put a lot of poison into my body, but maple syrup was never one of them. Not like that, at least.
right, right. You do it the old fashioned way on some Flappy Jacks. Um, okay. Benoit Pahoud. I want to talk about this now. We talked about variation of flavors, but let's talk supporting cast.
Mm, okay.
You ready for supporting cast? Listen to this, Daddy-O. Just listen to this. As well as with Pepsi and Pepsi Zero and Pepsi, like all the different varieties of Pepsi, they also have Mountain Dew. Oh, and a little thing called Dr. Pepper, and then
Yeah.
Sunkissed, and then Orange Crush, Mug Root Beer, Aquafina Water, Starry replaced Sierra Mist, which is, their version of Sprite. They do Bubbly, which is whatever. Also Gatorade. And then they do the Frappuccino Starbucks gimmicks. And then they also do, what's their energy drink? Rockstar. They do Rockstar as their energy drink. So that's what we're looking at for supporting cast, Burn.
Yeah,
What?
I was a little nervous about this just because of the
I
popularity.
guess they do Schweppes ginger ale too. That's
Uh,
probably the ginger ale Schweppes.
I don't think so. I think I got
Yeah.
Schweppes right here on the Coke side, baby.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Then
sir.
where's Canada Dry? Is Canada Dry its own thing?
I think it's its own thing.
I'll tell you this. I am in charge of I'm the snack. So I say this a lot at my office. If my office were Shawshank Redemption, I would be Morgan Freeman because
You'd
I'm
be
the
ready.
connect,
Yeah.
right? And reason is because I control the snacks and snack distribution thereof, as well as beverages. So in my office, there's snacks that are put out every day, as well as there's 4 beverage coolers that are stocked with water, soda, and juice, right? As well as a
Nice.
variety of coffee machines. Okay.
Sure.
But the refilling of those is, up to yours truly. So, for the snacks, it's like I get the regular stuff. You know what I mean? Like there'll be like Rice Krispie treats and Special K bars and granola bars and bags of chips and things like that. Right.
Sure.
But for the sody pop, I do a variety. I do a variety of everything, both Pepsi and Coke. You know, Sprite, Star. Like one guy specifically said that he likes Starry better. So I guess sorry for him. Some people like Dr. P. You know, and some other things. But the number one soda drank in my office, and it's literally not even close. Burn, literally not even close. Is ginger ale.
Okay.
Easily the number one soda drink in my office. Not even close. You know what's another? What's Nest Tea? Who does Nest Tea? Is that their own thing too?
I don't know. Ginger ale's caffeine free too, I think, naturally, which is a big plus for everyone. Listen, I was a little worried about this. I'm going to read off the Coke roster just so we can compare and contrast a little bit here. Okay. So, what'd you say? You
Okay.
got Pepsi as mug?
So yeah, we have. I'll just do it again real quick. So the Pepsi, we have Mountain Dew, Dr Pepper, Sunkissed, Crush, Mug Root Beer, Starry, Bubbly, Gatorade, the Frappuccino, Starbucks Gimmicks, and Rockstar Energy.
All right. See, this is hard for me because you know Mountain Dew and Dr. Pepper are very unique. There's really nothing in the Coke catalog that compares to those two. There's really nothing out
Right.
there that compares to those two.
Right. If you want to talk variation of flavors too, like what Mountain Dew has done with the variation of flavors in the
Yeah,
last 15 years, it's just been outstanding. They haven't missed. Baja Blast, Raspberry, Code Red, like forget it. Right? Continue.
yeah. So that's the you have mug. Pepsi has mug. Coke has Barks. I don't
Okay.
think there's that much of a difference right there.
Barks does have bite.
Barks does have bite, which seems to be the
For
kind
root
of
beer, you want bite.
seems to be the philosophy of the Coke products. Obviously, Sprite, the original
Yeah.
lemon lime. Uh,
Yeah. That
Another
beats
one that's
Starry.
kind of synonymous. People ask for a Sprite. Actually, Seven Up might have been the original, but Sprite took over pretty quickly. And people will say, like, can
Yeah.
I have a Coke? They'll say, okay, a Sprite. And you're like, well, we have
Yeah.
Starry. And they're like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. Um,
Sprite is, but yeah, Sprite's number one. But Seven Up had like a run with 7 and 7s, and you know what I mean.
it
Like
did.
they had some vernacular, but Seven Up, I think they fell off. Right? I don't know what Seven Up's thing is. I don't know who they're with. But sorry,
Maybe
continue.
it's
I
maybe
interrupted
it's
you.
hang with Canada Dry. We got Fresca, Coke has Fresca. You guys have Sunkiss. Sunkiss is the superior orange soda to
Yep.
Fanta. Fresca's that weird little grapefruit guy. Coke has that.
Yeah.
That's for some people. Some could take it or leave it. Minute Maid's a Coke product. Schweppes is a Coke product. Powerade, Body Armor, Smart Water, and Vitamin Water are all under the Coke umbrellas. You know what? And Dasani. I I hate to admit it, but I think Pepsi has a better. I think you have a better supporting cast.
I do.
I
I
think.
do.
I think
You don't have
Sunkist,
to hate
Mountain
to admit it
Dew.
because it's true.
Yeah, and I'm an honest guy, and I'm just trying to call balls and strikes here. But I think
Right. I
Mountain Dew.
mean, we win on supporting cast, but I think you take it on flavor variations. Unless you want peeps.
Yeah, I mean, God, that alone should be disqualifying. But yeah, Sunkist, Mountain Dew, Dr Pepper.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything in the Coke catalog that really competes with that. I mean, Fresca.
Okay.
Fresca's weird. It's a weird drink for weird people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you're drinking Fresca, you're out of your mind. That's another. I mean, like, dude, could you imagine the psychopath that will drink a Fresca can left out for 40 minutes? Who is that psychopath? Who is that fucking crazy person? That person needs to be locked up and then probably burned to death, right? Because we can't have them. We can't have them. Burn your thoughts.
No, the idea of like meeting someone who's going to drink a warm, flat Fresca, uh, I shudder to think what kind of person that is. Can you imagine getting stuck in an
Ugh.
elevator with that person? I mean, like,
Ugh.
I wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Um,
I know
now
who to shoot first.
my argument though, I think is still sound. While Pepsi has a better cast of characters around for variety,
Okay. All right.
but it's because they have to. It's because they have to. Because at the end of the day, what they are not is Coke. Everyone's favorite. By the way, just for the record, Coke is a little bit lower in calories, a little bit lower in sugar, and a little bit lower in caffeine, a little bit higher in sodium. But all those numbers are pretty negligible. A couple milligrams here or there. None of them are like vastly different.
Right. It's not, yeah. It's not, changing the game either way. Okay, well, Bern, we've deliberated enough. Are you ready to ask good old Al?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm ready to hear the right answer.
Okay,
AI,
so
bullshitting around this time.
All right, Bern, here we go. I asked AI. I said, "Hello, AI. Can you please tell me what is better, Coke or Pepsi?" Do you think Gemini listens to the show? Gemini is the AI that we use for all this listening. Do you think they listen to the show?
I mean, I feel
so.
like.
Do you think that Gemini gets upset when we refer to it as AI and not Gemini?
We've decided we don't want to piss off the AI. Gemini. So whatever you prefer.
Okay. All right. So I asked Gemini this. I said, "Hello, Gemini. Can you please tell me what is better, Coke or Pepsi?" They respond by saying thus: in regards to Coke, Coke has the classic flavor. Coke has a smoother, more caramel forward flavor with a slightly higher acidity. Some find it more refreshing. The brand recognition. It is iconic cola, often associated with nostalgia and classic Americana. And then it's a wider product variety. Coke has a wider range of flavors and variations like cherry Coke, Coke Zero, etc. And then when it comes to Pepsi, it's definitely noted that Pepsi is a sweeter and more citrusy. Pepsi has a sweeter, brighter flavor with a citrusy tang that some find more invigorating. The modern image. Pepsi often targets a younger audience with its marketing and celebrity endorsements. We saw how that went wrong. And then they have stronger carbonation. Pepsi tends to have a bit more fizz, which some people prefer. I agree. I like more fizz. And then here we go. Here's a quick comparison. I love that they're doing these charts now. Okay, so here's a chart, right? So it's Coke versus Pepsi. So in regards to flavor, Coke is smoother with caramel notes, and Pepsi sweeter with a citrusy tang. The sweetness, Coke is less sweet, Pepsi's more sweet. Carbonation, Coke less fizz, Pepsi more fizz. And then brand image, Coke is classic nostalgia, and Pepsi is modern and youthful. So unless you want to be a fucking granddad, it says then beyond taste, consider this. Availability, is one more readily available where you live or shop? And then the price. Are there significant price differences? And then diet versions. If you prefer Diet Cola, you might find one brand artificial sweetener more appealing. And then ultimately, they placate and say the better one is the one you like more. Just pick one time. One time, Alan. Gemini. Jeez. Bern, we're hitting the top of time. What do you got before we get out of here? Besides a big sweaty hog.
Coca-Cola Classic. All right. If it ain't broke, don't drink Pepsi.
All right. I love it. Well, speaking of not being broke and not thinking Pepsi, this has been another episode of the Working Perspectives Podcast presents Ask AI. I'm Matt Lavelle, coming by the one and only Burn Podcast. In case you're wondering, you can find all our stuff and all our content, all podcast platforms, and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can also on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast. Join us on Twitter and TikTok at WorkingPPod. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workingperspectives@gmail.com. And please like and subscribe, and we'll keep bringing you this incredibly amazing content. All right. Thanks for listening, and we love you. And also comment, let us know which one you prefer. Thanks. See you. You did it, Daddy. You made it to the end of the episode. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let us know which one you like better, Coke or Pepsi. Also, let us know how much I bodied old Benoit Pahoud Casse. We love you. Thank you so much. Can't do this without you. The best. Thanks. See you.